Hi. So welcome to my first erotica workshop. I haven't quite ironed out yet how I'm going to be doing. I'd like to have maybe a software program where I'm able to engage and talk to you, but for now, probably for the next few, I'll be doing YouTube videos or Facebook Live. So I'm camping out in my daughter's bedroom. Um, Lost a very dear friend this week, and it just reminds me that we need to all be connected, and I'm really glad that I'm doing this work, and I'm glad that you're here. So, erotica, now if you notice there on the page, I put up a writing for you as well, so you can follow through if you're watching the recording and you want to read through it. To me, it's intended to arouse, and the person you want to arouse is you. Like, bring back your sensuality, and everything has something different that makes them, hot, or get into it. I think when I first fell in love with this was a couple years ago, when I was about to turn 50, and I was not feeling too great about myself, and I wanted to write a book. And at the time, everyone was talking about 50 Shades of Grey and how it would make tons of money, and my kids were like, oh, why don't you try that? So I did, and I had a blast with it. I wrote like this really fun, like kind of beach read type thing. But what I found was that I kind of rediscovered my sensuality, and as a single mom who was older, kind of had lost that along the way. So that's when I first fell in love with it, and I put a little excerpt in there for you. My characters in the book, which should be out in a couple of months, my age. I made her look different, but she's my age, and throughout the whole book I just worked on bringing the erotic back for her. And so I can just read that for you, and then I can't say I've ever read my erotica out loud, so this should be good. Okay. A tall woman with swingy blonde hair with straight cut bangs marched into the room. She wore a dark blue masquerade mask and shiny black thigh-high boots. Her lips were bright red to match her long tapered fingernails. She snapped a short black riding crop against her hand and then untied the small woman's blindfold. The smaller woman on the throne nodded and stopped swiveling her hips. She shivered in anticipation. The tall woman put one foot on the chair with the pointed tip of her boot against Raven's clit, moving her foot up and down. She pulled her own lace panties to the side as she took the edge of the riding crop and slid the nubby leather handle into her own slick cleft, in and out slowly, making herself gasp with pleasure. Is this what you want me to do? Is it? Look at me, look. Raven nodded and wriggled. Yes, please. I said, don't move, don't speak. The blonde smacked her on the side of her buttocks and gave Raven's golden nub a hard little twist. Raven gasped and arched against the constraints. The tall woman slid the riding crop between her legs with one hand as she rubbed her own clit with one long, elegant finger. Her head tilted back as she became more aroused. Raven watched and couldn't help herself. She moved her hips in barely perceptible circles. Oh, that was weird. Not gonna lie, that was weird to read that out loud. It was kind of like in a workshop format, so this I'm learning as well as you. The main reason I wanted to show you that is because it was my first stab at erotica. Since then, I've written a movie and a book, second book, which are much more literary, much more realistic. And I think the temptation and the fun of this when you first started is, just totally going fantasy with it, and I can't believe I used words like cleft and nub. That's hilarious. But I mean, I think it's an introduction into it, and whatever you're comfortable with is what you should do. So today what I wanted us to do just to get started, and the goal of this would be to have a flash fiction, which would be a short story of maybe 2 to 5 pages, and we'll just keep working on that maybe over the course of November and December. And I'll feedback and give you critique on yours, and I'll do critique on mine. So I've got 3 exercises here that you can try. And you can just take a couple minutes for each one. The first one, I want you to write a paragraph that uses one central descriptor from the body, like breast, nipples, neck, thigh, penis, clit, something like that. And then in the same paragraph, use a drink or something edible. Could be anything. I give you a list of stuff there. For me, I'm going to use Manhattan and nipples because I love Manhattans and I love nipples. So they've got some other ideas there, you know, margaritas and thighs, caviar and lips, whipped cream and breasts, chocolate and fingers. So let's just take right now, like a minute or two, and just write out, handwrite as fast as you can, whatever you come up with. And then after this workshop, I'll take mine up because I didn't do it yet. So I'm going to do it right along with you. So let's go for 2 minutes. On your mark, get set, go. And here, if you write fast as you can, it's just going to come quicker. Sorry guys, when I get a good recording system, that won't happen. Okay, so you can stop there, and then maybe come back to that paragraph and just keep going with it and fine tune it. Let's all do that, and then we can all post them here online. The next post that I came up with was we'll write using our sense of smell. So for me, I'm going to use citrus. I love the smell of citrus. Like I feel like sometimes guys smell like, and women's citrusy, fresh smell like when you get out of the shower, and I love that. And then I'm going to use a bar top, like having sex on top of a bar. So I'm going to write about that. We'll do that for like a minute. And then this is, you know, meant to be like a quick little workshop that isn't going to take up a lot of your time, but you can take the prompts and use them later. So ready, go. Okay, and you can always return to this. I know a minute's not long, but I don't want you to have to sit here for a minute or bunches of minutes. And then finally, for this workshop for today, let's go with a sense of touch on the skin. Instead of skin on skin, I'm going to use silk on skin. You could do cashmere on skin, feathers on skin, leather on skin. You could get really kinky, which I do in my first book, and it was so much fun. I mean, honestly, I've never gotten that kinky with myself, but I loved writing about it. So let's give that a go. Ready, go. Silk and skin. Okay, so obviously keep going with that one too. So, what I'd like us all to do if you came today or you're watching, you're watching this recording, is start with these 3 paragraphs, and then you have the other senses. Hearing, I just lost, what do we do? Touch, sight, I suppose. Yeah, seeing something. Create 2 characters. You don't need to get complicated. This is just a fun exercise to get started with. Just create 2 characters. Could be a fantasy, could be based on you. I had fun here and there doing stuff that was based on me, but I fictionalized, and I really enjoy that. And then just do like a little storyline. Find a location. Maybe you're on a motorcycle somewhere, with a guy or a girl or 2, whatever, and then just write a couple paragraphs and then post them. I'll help you critique them, and I think it could be a lot of fun. And if you want the good ones, we'll publish in the Hooked Bell zine when that comes out. So I hope you had a good time. I would really like your feedback, and I promise these will get more polished and better. This is my first one, so I worked on it a lot, but I wasn't sure what to expect when presenting it. So have an awesome day. Thank you.